All right. Look, I'm 2 minutes late, but I'm back. Welcome to Nightcap. My name's Nate. Sorry, I just kind of ran up the steps. Had an inhaler issue. Had some technical difficulty. Let me turn my notifications off because now that I got a job, people think I'm important. All right, good. So, what am I going to talk about tonight? Well, this is a place where I like to bitch about shit, and I'm going to continue to bitch about the things that I think are just blatant racist bullshit that the GOP's pitching, and they're setting up for the midterms. I'm telling you, Ketanji Brown Jackson is about the most qualified fucking Supreme Court justice we've had. She has better qualifications than she's actually been a part of more trials than several of the other justices combined. At least that's what I read. So, maybe not with their Supreme Court experience, but this is kind of the plan for the GOP. They're trying to create another wedge issue where they're painting this black woman as somebody who's soft on grooming that goes along with their narrative, how, parents are, genderfying their children by exposing them to, understanding their sexual identities and certainly understanding themselves. But now that's illegal. And so by painting this judge, this is so fucked up. It's so complex and so simple. They have these themes and then they kind of just paint the brush over anything that kind of comes in the way of them, pushing their non-agenda, which essentially doesn't exist. We've talked about this before where, I would love to have a conservative, somebody who really believes in the principles, explain to me the long-term game for how their viewpoints are going to be exercised by the GOP. Because right now, the only thing they're doing is, all right, we're anti-abortion. We don't like the fact that there's transgender folks in sports, and we're going to flip out on that. Nothing to fucking say about the fucking gender, the pay gap with gender. Nothing to say about the fact that, the equality, the income gap in this country is growing. Nothing to say about the fact that inflation's good for the rich people and fucking tough on everyone else. Nothing to say about the fact that we have inflation because maybe possibly the government decided to take $1.6 trillion out of the economy and gift it to people that hoard it overseas. None of that. No one's saying anything about that. But what they're going to do is try to paint the opposition as them. And right now, the tune of the day is, hey, they're grooming. They're passing legislation that she can't define a woman. So now we're not going to vote for her. When they just want to, they don't even understand the biology. Oh, a woman with two X chromosomes. Actually, no, there's an SRI gene that's a part of this. There's a whole thread on this from a biologist that talks about how you may be XY, you may be XX, but you may actually have the SRI gene of the other opposite sex. What does that make you then? That's the one that actually determines your sexual identity and kind of how your body hormones work. So, it's so complex, but you have this wedge issue. No one knows what the fuck they're talking about, including myself. But this is something that they've now painted on a Supreme Court justice as if she has to answer the question, a biological question, and basically, be fodder for their campaigns. I've talked about this, the midterm strategies are where it's at. Right now, you see the apathy in the Democratic Party. You see them kind of flailing. You see people not excited about it. People are like boring. At least Trump got people fired up and pissed off. But now you kind of have Biden who's Sleepy Joe. I mean, look, it's appropriate, whatever. If you're a Joe Biden fan, I'm sorry. I was Elizabeth Warren, and I'm not thrilled with it. But, he's doing way better than Trump. And I'm happy that we don't have to focus on the crazy shit that he's saying every day. I do think he's a little too old, and I've made comments about that before. But the point is, they're setting it up to make Joe look completely incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing, and that this Ketanji Brown Jackson is some pedophile. She's soft on child pornography, including the lack of ability to define a man or a woman makes her a risk to your fucking livelihood is bizarre. But people are buying it. They're living with it. This is their plan. And if you're a Republican, you're wondering, what happened to small government and not intruding on other people's lives? I would ask you the same question. I mean, This is why I sit here and do this show, because the hypocrisy that lives in the GOP right now, the party of family values elected Donald Trump. They said, hey, it doesn't matter because he's doing what we want. What do you want? You want conservative judges that will essentially rule in favor of restricting our freedoms. It's so bizarre. It's a fucking like mind fuck. And most people can't see it. And so, you know, as somebody who loves to look at the meta level of everything, this is just bizarre to me that you could support that party. Now, why do I support the Democrats when they're flaccid and weak and they are big tent, yet they, you know, some of their policies actually hurt black people? Well, because it's my best shot. It's my best shot at getting some of the ideals that I believe in. Am I thrilled with Democrats? No. Barack Obama was not perfect. He fucking was all about drones and doing, you know, executed strikes on he could have done it on civilians based on some of the law at the time. So there's all kinds of things that you can talk about that are problematic with the parties. And that's why I chose the Democrats, because right now Republicans are batshit crazy worshiping Trump. It's a fucking broken record. You're like, Nate, when are you going to tell us something new? I want to tell you something new when people get over the fact that you're consistently voting for people that just placate to your worst fears. They're not looking at the long term or what they want to develop America. And they're saying, hey, well, here's what we don't want America to be. And that's diverse and progressive and caring about your fellow man. I guess that's socialism. But so, you know, these are the kind of arguments that fund me, that fund my fire to get on here every night and make a fool of myself and talk about these things, because I don't understand how people continue to look at their party and not kind of be suspect of the things that are going on in it. And that's why this is smashing the party. I fucking hate tribalness, and I think it's one of the things that holds us back. You see every single issue, Chris Rock, you know, Team Rock, every single thing becomes tribal instantly, no matter what it is. Masks were tribal. Public health's tribal now. You know if someone's super liberal if they're still wearing a mask at this time. I mean, all kinds of weird shit. But it's because they use that to continue to, you know, milk themselves, because they know the game. They know the game is to stay in power, and they got to do whatever they can to do that, because they've lost sight of really why they're there. And so, in my opinion, we don't really have a lot of public servants right now. We have people that are out there trying to make a name for themselves, trying to get that tweet, trying to get that social media capital that then propels them the rest of their life. And look, here I am trying to do the same damn thing, except I'm not an elected official, and I'm certainly not someone that's advocating for the restriction of people's rights like Republicans are. And so, you know, this is what is going to play out during the midterms. These things, the books, the grooming, the liberal judges, they're going to paint her as so liberal, and they're going to put her in, you know, I opposed or I voted no. And they're going to run those clips of them saying, I voted no for this person, despite the fact that within that same, you know, fragment, they advocated for how, you know, good her resume is and everything else. So, you know, the politics is coming out. And so we can't have nice things when people think that way. We can't. It's just short-term bullshit. I've been part of organizations that think like that. I've worked with people that think short-term like that are kind of greedy and want to get what they want now, not realizing that if they kind of walk down and build something, they can have more. And so that's kind of what I feel like we're dealing with as a country, is that there's folks that are kind of looking to, you know, squash their fears. And so they're looking at these party leaders that are saying these awful things, and it's reaffirming their fears. And so that's the bond they make. It's kind of sadistic. But look, I don't have much to say tonight, just because my work is awesome. I love it. And I am focusing, you know, it's going to be a little rough till I get the cadence of where I'm working and how much I can kind of, you know, flex my time to shift things when they need to be done during times when I'm optimal. Right now, I'm just working 9 to 5, just trying to slam stuff up and get caught up, because that's when everyone else works. The reason I'm telling you that is because this whole, you know, my driver to get back into the work game really was to not only be part of a team and help grow something, which is awesome, but also to help support this cause. So it's going to be a little rocky until I figure out that cadence, until I figure out the balance of doing both. But I'm equipped better now than I've ever been. So that's a good thing. Plus, I'm in fucking therapy. Plus, I'm doing all kinds of weird spiritual shit that I'll talk about someday. that's helpful for me to be grounded so I can bring you the truth and continue to do it in a way that's going to keep me honest and be authentic. So I also, if Rebecca, I know you don't watch anymore, probably you're mad at me, but I want to get back to hiring my writer. And that's one of the other things I'm looking forward to start doing is writing again and working with somebody that can teach me kind of satire in a way that I'm kind of a technical person. So anyway, all this stuff is fodder. You don't give a fuck. You just want to hear the noise. The noise is coming tomorrow. I thought today was Thursday for some reason, so I have one more day, and I'm going to take a week off. But I appreciate all the love. Look, bear with me. Bear with me through this time where I try to get that cadence. I'm a workaholic. I will fucking slam the shit I'm interested in, and I'm interested in keeping this going. But I also have to make sure that I'm performing at my job. So I'm trying to take that time this time to ramp up as fast as possible so I can produce. And then once I'm producing and I feel confident there, I can start to kind of shift my time and my priorities to what really matters. And that's fucking changing minds and hearts and minds. That's all I got. As you can see, I'm probably exhausted. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10:30. Thanks for checking in. Love the support. Love it. Share it. Like it. Tell me I sucked. Tell me I need to get darker glasses. I know there's a reflection here that kind of fucks with the screen when I have certain backgrounds. I don't think it was too bad today. It was all right. Anyway, love it. All the support. I know, look, I get a lot of inbox compliments. I get a lot of inbox insults. I'd rather have you post them on my page, even if they're negative. So if you send me something in my inbox, I appreciate it. But certainly it's helpful to have engagement on my page. That's all I'll say. smashingtheparty.com/links. Find all my other locations. Yes, I'm still not doing TikToks, and I know I suck, but I will be. Stay tuned. Check in tomorrow at 10:30. I'll be back. Laying, spitting some fire. Peace.